I'm from Dorchester, but good morning, Roxbury. I am an angry black woman. I know I'm not supposed to say that in front of company, but I'm saying it now because you need to know that I'm angry for good reason. Several years ago, I took a job, and I know that should not be controversial, but many things that shouldn't be controversial become controversial when you're a black person. There was evidence of a problem during the interview process. They told me about an employee that had made trouble for my predecessor, but I'm thinking, that's not a problem for me. I'm a black chick from Dorchester. So the first week, it starts. I receive an email from the problem employee, and I'm gonna be very honest with you guys here today. This experience was so traumatizing for me that I have removed this position from my resume, LinkedIn, and I don't even remember this woman's name. So we're gonna just call her Karen. So I receive an email from Karen, and the email starts with, "You are new here," and it ends with an indirect instruction for me to stay in my place because she is a senior VP and a member of the executive team. She continues bullying and diminishing me every single day. Every email, every meeting, every interaction was an opportunity for her venom. I went to my boss, I went to HR, until HR finally said to me, "One of the reasons that we hired you was because we knew that you would not back down." They had hired me to be the angry black woman and solve their problem. After 6 months and hiring an external HR consultant, they terminated Karen. After they terminated Karen, they rehired the white woman who had resigned under Karen's abuse. She was willing to back down. When she came back, I became invisible. When she returned, my usefulness evaporated. I had dealt with their problem. Now I just needed to sit in my place quietly. I didn't realize it then, but the damage was already done. This was their company culture. Microaggressions, racial abuse, misogyny, and white male superiority were their culture. I was not gonna change that, and I was losing my sanity trying to. After 11 months, I resigned. When I sent my resignation email, my supervisor, a white man, contacted me because he said he was surprised. They had dealt with the problem. What was my issue now? He could not comprehend it. Much of the experience of Black America is incomprehensible to people who are firmly planted in their whiteness. The other day, my husband called me a provoked black woman. I am, because of the trauma we have endured. We carry it in our bodies. It's high blood pressure, it's heart disease, it's diabetes, and it is mental illness. Black women have had their wombs controlled and weaponized through decades of racial abuse and trauma. The Constitution outlawed the kidnapping of Africans in 1808. 388,000 Africans were brought to the United States during the transatlantic slave trade. By the time of the Emancipation Proclamation, there was more than 3 million enslaved Africans impacted. Black women bear the trauma of what happened in between. The enslavers bred, bought, and sold generations of my family. My grandmother was born into that system. She likely passed as white during periods of her life because she wore a blonde wig for most of it. Black women earned the right to vote in 1965. I was born a little more than a decade after that, and I know I'm not old, so it wasn't that long ago. My mother was born without the right to vote. My grandmother, who I just told you likely passed as white, was born without the right to vote. Black women have been catching up the entire time. In that job, I succeeded in a race that I did not even know I was in. Imagine if I had known I was racing. And when we do succeed, we are pushed to the back of the line as the hurdles of oppression are leveraged against us because we are Black women. Black women, I'm talking to you guys. We do not owe anyone our lives. We do not owe it to anyone to not back down. Back down and walk away. Our anger does not have to be a weakness. It can be a strength. It is justified. It is rooted in our experience. We need to feel that anger and use it. And I'm not saying, I know I'm in Roxbury, I'm in Boston. I'm not saying don't go around popping off on everybody. I'm saying if you see injustice, use your voice to change it. Everybody else, I just need you to know why we are angry. We have plenty of valid reasons to be angry. I am a mother to 3 children and a Mimi to 2 more. They're over there. My children and grandchildren were born into a modern enslavement. An enslavement that uses systems, policies, and at times, outright violence to keep them captive. I sometimes think to myself, why did I bring them here into this? And not because I do not love them. It's actually the opposite. I'm afraid for them to live in a place that allows them to be prey to an oppressive system. I lay in the bed at night waiting for my husband or my sons to come home. When I watch TV and see yet another Black person being murdered because they are Black, I cry out. When a police car pulls behind me, my heart races. Someone once asked me, have you ever had a gun drawn on you? Yes, I have, and most of the time, it was by police. I believed that if I went to the right schools, I spoke the right way, I showed up professionally with all those letters behind my name, that they would see past my anger. I am going to stop apologizing and hiding my rage. It is a warranted and necessary tool. And I invite all Black women to join me. I need you to see me authentically in my anger, sadness, joy, and triumph. That is the only way we can move forward. Toni Morrison said, I get angry, then go on and work. Our anger is justified, but we must engage constructively. It is time for us to create equal justice systems that protect our human rights. The baton that we pass to the next generation must be filled with resilience, joy, and hope. We will not stop running this race until we achieve change. Company, just get used to it.